Now today, as I'm sure you can guess, we are going to be talking about the abandoned cart flow. This is a super important flow to have as an e-commerce brand. You are targeting people with the highest intent to purchase, and so it's a real moneymaker. So what we're going to be talking about in this video, we're going to go over why exactly it's so important to have and what you could be missing out on if it's not fully optimized, and then going through how to set up the flow within Klaviyo, and then walking through the entire flow, email by email, what to have in each email in order to optimize your results, and then just going through some examples, good, bad, and ugly. All right, so to walk through why it's so important in the first place, we're going to go through a little example here. So imagine you're an e-commerce brand, you're doing 100K in monthly recurring revenue, and your average order value is around $100. That means at 100K, $100 average order value, you are doing 1,000 orders. And now that's great. But how many orders are you missing out on? And based on the data coming from the websites like Shopify, we can see that around 70% of all carts are abandoned. And that means 30% of all carts are completed. Complete. So if you have 30% of carts being completed, then how many carts got abandoned if you have 1,000 orders? Well, that's just 1,000 divided by your percentage, which ends up equaling 3,333.33, but you can't have 0.33, so let's call it that. And then minus your 1,000 because those were completed orders, you end up with 2,300-ish carts that ended up getting abandoned. And so that's a lot of carts. If you could even get 10% of those carts back, which is really reasonable with the flow I'm going to show you. The flow I'm going to show you, our success with it has been around 1 of 5 carts ended up being recovered, so that's about 20%. So even if you're about half of that, at 10%, you're going to be getting 230 more orders, or you're going to see a 23% increase in sales. Literally just off of one flow, you can see a 23% increase in sales, which is mind-blowing for anyone that doesn't have this set up and optimized the way I'm about to show you. 23%, or so 230 orders. If you're doing $100 order value, that's what, 23,000. So lots of money to be made just by having this set up and optimized. And so how do you actually set up the flow? So the metric you want to have to trigger the flow is your added to cart, obviously. And now if you're using Klaviyo, which I recommend you do, you just need to make sure that you are actually using the right metric, because if you use the preset flows from Klaviyo, the one that says cart abandonment actually is checkout abandonment. I don't know why they still have it messed up with the terminology, but you need to actually put the metric in yourself. It's not one that gets preloaded. You have to connect Shopify to Klaviyo and then add a snippet of code into Shopify on the back end. So this is how to create the added to cart event. You essentially just go through, follow these steps, add in this snippet right here into Klaviyo on the back end, like code it in. And then if you've done it correctly, then you will have the added to cart metric available and firing correctly in Klaviyo. If you have any trouble with it, just reach out and I can go check for you if you have it firing correctly. And then the flow filters you want to add are going to be checkout started 0 times, placed order 0 times, and has not been in the flow in the last X days. Usually it's going to be, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to a month. We'll get right into the actual flow here. So email 1 you just want to remind them about the cart products that are in their cart, and you want to be minimalistic with it. You don't want to go over the top. Maybe like logo, headline, maybe a little bit of text, product, CTA, that's it. And the reason is because we have the rest of this flow here for people that need to be sold. The first email here is kind of like the first welcome email. You're just wanting to get out of the way for the people that have already sold themselves and are already going to buy. Because for a lot of people, they might abandon the cart because they wanted to buy, but they don't have their wallet on them right now. And when they have their wallet on them, if they get reminded about it, oh, they'll just buy. They don't need any extra information. They don't need any extra anything. And so you just want to remove as much friction from them being able to purchase as possible. And that's how you do it. For the second email, it's depending on a couple things, whether you want to do this split, but it's a fun split to do, in my opinion. So say you have 2 products on your store, and so this second email is going to be about the products that are in their cart. And so if someone has product A in their cart, they're going to get this email. If someone has product B in their cart, they're going to get this email. So as you can see, the product or the difference between the emails is just going to be the information about the product that they have in their cart. You want to be specific with it. Personalize the email to the recipient. So if the recipient has, so if you're selling, say, sweatshirts and hats, well, if someone abandoned the hat, you want to send them product information and the benefits of the hat and information like what's the stitch on it, what's the material. You want to give them information about the hat. And if they abandon the sweater, you want to do the same thing with the sweater. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it works really well because it really gives that personalized effect to your consumers, and they're going to get the information that's hyper relevant to them. Email 3, at this point, they haven't bit yet, so you want to give them a small discount to get them over the edge, and then give them some supporting content on the benefits, any frequently asked questions. You want to give them the answers to those because at this point they are high intent, they've almost purchased, but something is stopping them. You got to figure out what's stopping them, whether that's the shipping details, whether that's they're unsure about the quality, whether that's they're unsure about whether other people have had success. So you want to give, benefits, shipping details, any guarantees you have, free shipping thresholds, product quality information, social proof so they can see other people's successes, that sort of thing. And then email 4, you want to send them a slightly larger discount. Say you did 10% here, you do 15% here, something like that. And then risk reversals. So that would be your money back guarantee, your free shipping after like $75, anything above $75, you get free shipping, that sort of thing. Just things to take the perceived risk of buying your product. You want to take it instead of having it on them because they feel like they have risk in the situation still, which is holding them back from purchasing. You can see like, oh yeah, they would love this product, but you need to make sure that they see that, and reversing the risk, taking on the risk and saying, hey, we'll take on this risk if you buy the product, tends to do quite well. And then email 5 here, I really hope it's recording because apparently I just went offline. But email 5 here, you want to do the same discount as email 4, and then just give a little bit more of that supporting content, which would be your things like product benefits, answers to frequently asked questions. You really just want to try to overcome any and all objections that they might still have. And then you also want to add urgency. So you're going to send the same discount. So say this one's 15%, you're going to say 15%, but only for 24 hours. And then this one, the 6th email is just going to be your last chance. So this one would be like, you only have 6 hours left before the cart expires. So do it now or else you're going to lose the cart. And then a couple pro tips, splitting based on cart value relative to your free shipping threshold is a really, really good idea. So say $100 is your free shipping threshold. You want to split. So anyone that is, their cart is above $100, you want to send them information that they have free shipping and they can use their free shipping, versus you can't send that to the people that don't qualify for it yet. But what you could say is add, if they're at $75, you can be like, add $25 more and you're at free shipping, because that might get them over the edge. And then splitting based on previous order history is a good idea as well. And basically, the reason for that is if they have purchased from you a bunch before, you might not actually want to send them discounts, because you don't really care about them converting right this very second, because since they've already bought before, they're already really familiar with your brand and they'll convert eventually down the road. And if you have, which I recommend you have, if you have like a VIP flow where those types of people would be in their own segment, where you can send targeted content to them regarding the fact that they have bought from you a bunch of times before, and give them exclusive discounts, then they're going to be way more receptive to those exclusive discounts than they are going to be to just a random abandoned cart discount. And so that is another thing you can do. The split's going to look similar to this one here, but it might branch out and have completely different emails for the rest of them. They're going to be similar theme, but just a little bit slightly tweaked content based on why you're splitting it in the first place. And then, so we'll get into a couple examples here. This one from Javi I really, really like. So you see here, you just have logo, small headline, which is just like, heads up, you left something behind. So just, hey, just as a reminder, you left something here, showing them what they have in their cart. You left something behind. Don't worry. We held on to it. Our sales inventory is limited. We can't guarantee we can hold it for that much longer. So this is like playing into scarcity. And so it's like, complete your purchase now. So very, very simple. I bet this rips for them. Same thing with this one here. Forgot something. Little bit of text, picture, keep shopping. Very good. And then they have, this is kind of like the risk reversal, 100-day trial, free shipping and returns, find a store. And then this isn't bad here. You don't want to, we'll get into it on this one, but you don't want to be too distracting, especially in these emails, because they're high intent to go back to their cart and purchase. But if you get them to click onto the website and continue browsing and stuff, they've already been in their cart once. They're likely to get sidetracked and abandon a cart again, or just like browse a ton of things, abandon, and then not end up purchasing. So you want to avoid that. And then this one here, although it kind of looks similar to the other two, and you might be expecting me to say this is really great, I don't think it's really great. I think it's okay, but I'll point out a few things that I don't like about it. So finish what you carted, you're a click or two away. I really like that. The go to cart is a little too small. Like if I zoom out here, it's like, find the CTA on these two. Well, obviously, you can obviously find it. Find the CTA on this one. You can't really see it that well. So that's a really good test that I like to do to see if the CTAs are popping enough. Because you really want it to be eye-catching. And if it's not eye-catching from a distance, it's not going to be eye-catching at all. And so this, I would improve the CTA, just make it more like one of these ones. And then the product picture, I don't like all the blank space here, but that just might be the way you do the pictures on the website and how they populate. And then you got to do better with the text here. Nobody is reading this, and nobody's clicking this as a CTA. And so that's definitely something that needs to be improved there. And then this is something that people generally think would be a great idea to do, because you're like, oh yeah, they're interested in the products. Like, let's do a couple like general product categories that they might be interested in, because maybe they want to go shop more. And it's a decent idea, but in practice, what it ends up doing is distracting people. And so you want to look at emails from a perspective of like, what is the main idea of this email? And you want your main idea to be one thing, and you want one offer. So what's the supposed main idea of this email? To get people to go back to their cart and finish the purchase. That's the goal here. And the offer is to go to the cart. So people can either open the email. If they want to convert, they'll convert. And the option they have is to go to cart. And you want it to be streamlined because these people are high intent. You don't want to distract them. And so what this ends up doing, even though you think it's a great idea, is and it actually might increase click-through rate, but it's going to decrease sales because you're putting people into areas that on your website aren't high converting areas. A high converting area on your website would be the checkout page, the men's apparel product category page. There's not very many people, so they still have to go through. They're at men's apparel. They have to then go through shirts, go find the shirt they want, put it in the cart just to get where they currently are. So you're taking steps back by having this in here. It's not a bad idea to have somewhere in the flow to be like, maybe they abandoned cart because they actually didn't want what's in their cart, but they want something from your store. So it's not a bad idea to have somewhere in the flow some idea of like, here's other things to look at. That's a good idea, but keep them in separate emails because having them in the same email actually takes away from the idea behind both of them. So the idea behind this is to get them to convert. And the idea behind this is to say, if you didn't want to convert on that, here's a bunch of other things you might want to convert on. Both of them are good ideas. Separate the emails into two different emails because you're going to end up hitting a audience with both of those emails that then will not get distracted by the other information. So I hope that makes sense. I did ramble a little bit about that last part, but I think hopefully you'll be able to find some value in that. It's just something that I've gone through way too many times when auditing different email accounts, and it's definitely something that you can fix relatively easily. But just copy and paste this framework into your current structure and make more money. That's about it. See ya.